Hey everyone, Mike and Aubrey here with another video. If you're new to our channel, please like, subscribe. We are a family of 6, obviously the 2 of us, 4 kids, all under the age of 12, and 4 dogs. And a mother-in-law, I guess, too, as well. So with that said, we moved from the United States to Valencia, Spain in particular, and we've been basically traveling all throughout Europe, all throughout Spain. And today's video is on a city in northern Spain called Gijon. As you kind of can tell from some of our other videos, we absolutely love northern Spain. I wouldn't say Gijon was my favorite city. It's not that I disliked it, but just compared to some of the other cities we saw, we did like those probably a little better. So with that in mind, the things I do want to kind of compliment Gijon on first before we really dive into this. One, still pretty green. Absolutely love that, being from Hawaii, having a little bit of rain, being able to hear like the ocean again was pretty cool. That was actually a pretty nice draw for us. 2, I did think that it seemed to be almost like a younger crowd than Oviedo, I would say. I don't know about like versus Bilbao, but versus
a lot of kids.
Exactly. Versus like Oviedo, it's only a 30-minute bus ride. It was really well connected by bus. So if you had to do something in Oviedo and then come back, it's pretty easy to jump on one of those buses for just like $1 or $2.
And by maybe younger crowd, I would say younger families with children, not like a bunch of teens and stuff, which I think they do have that. But I thought Oviedo was definitely an older crew.
Definitely is.
We didn't see a lot of children, like a ton of children. Still a lot, but I guess coming from Valencia, where we see kids everywhere, it was just a little different.
No, that's completely fair. Definitely just, I think, a younger crowd than Oviedo. And so kind of with that in mind, we did not hit up Abieles, which is kind of makes that like triangle basically with Oviedo, Gijon, and Abieles. Gijon's also not that far from the airport. So in general, we did like Gijon. And I guess we'll kind of touch on more things in that. I just wanted to give a brief overview that, again, seemed a bit younger to us. Loved hearing the ocean again. That was really cool. And it was still pretty green, which was nice. So I think you want to mention your favorite part.
My personal favorite, but it's kind of like my favorite everywhere we go where there's water, is the boardwalk. I couldn't wait to just kind of skip through the town and go to the boardwalk. And obviously it's on the ocean, nice cool breeze. I think we went in September, so it was a nice cool breeze, but for me the water was super cold. I put my feet in and like, I don't go in. If the water is not bath warm, I don't like the water. So, I mean, it was nice. There was some people swimming there, but I would say overall, the vibe was so peaceful. It felt very
chill.
Like we were going, and I just felt like at peace when we were walking on the boardwalk. It was beautiful. Just seeing people outside. I love boardwalks, and so that for me is my absolute favorite. And we walked from one side to the other. I mean, we took our sweet time walking, grabbing coffee, sitting on benches.
We're going to throw some videos up so you can kind of see what we're talking about.
It's really pretty.
Really nice walk. And it was actually a pretty good day that we did the walk too. Obviously, if it was raining and stuff, I don't know how nice it would be, but it seemed, I thought, pretty well maintained. It seemed like a well-maintained boardwalk. A lot of people running, jogging, exercises, families just going for a walk, grabbing ice cream and all sorts of stuff.
It's very beautiful. It's definitely something that you need to do for sure if you go to Gijón.
If you're there, you might as well see it. It's pretty nice. I guess for my thing I wanted to touch on, and it was kind of the same in Oviedo. I thought the food was pretty good in Gijón. I don't want to say better than Oviedo. I do want to say different. But the meat and fish in particular were really good in Gijón. Maybe it was just the places that we had, but I thought the meat and fish were better than what we get here in Valencia. Particularly like the steak. I had a steak there. I cannot find a decent steak, and I keep going to like Argentinian steak houses and stuff to try it. It just doesn't quite
it's just not
taste the same to me as like coming from the States, Maybe it doesn't have enough, growth hormone in it. I don't know. But in general, Gijón, I thought the meat was pretty good. The food we were pretty happy with, I have to say.
And we didn't go to like Michelin star restaurants. We went to just hole in the wall places. Like we would type in what we wanted and we kind of looked what was in our area. So we weren't specifically going for like top-notch food.
Exactly.
We were just going for average bar, cafe food, and it was very, very good. Yeah,
I will say the portion sizes were still pretty big, so that seemed to be a theme up north. Oviedo or Gijon had the biggest portion sizes. Bilbao's were still pretty big, but not like...
Hands down.
Oviedo was massive, massive plate sizes. So I just want to mention the food real quick. I was pretty happy with it. The kids were pretty happy with it. You could kind of find anything you wanted. I didn't think the prices were too bad. We tried to make sure we went to more local areas. Obviously, from the Boardwalk, prices were a little higher, but I didn't think like touristy high. Like they weren't outrageous even on the Boardwalk or anything like that. But overall, again, happy with the food in Gijon. I thought that was one of the positives, actually. But probably the biggest positive, and that's yours. I'll let you touch on this.
Obviously, this is what our favorite part of Gijon. It's not in the city center. It's not,
we'll touch on that at the end.
It's not right there, like smack dab in the middle. But we drove maybe like 15 minutes, maybe 10.
For one, because we had two different ones.
So 15 minutes kind of outside the city. The beaches are incredible. They were so beautiful. And I would say, coming from Ohio, I am less picky on how beaches look in general. I think all beaches are beautiful. Even though like some I won't go in, but still, they're beautiful to look at. I love the water. I love everything about it. Everything about the vibe of the beach. This one over here is super picky coming from Hawaii. Nothing impresses him.
They're not as nice.
But he thinks that the beaches in Gijon, the ones that we went to, because I think we did two, right? Two different ones?
We did.
Two in particular were absolutely stunning. The one, I think they called it like it was like a dinosaur.
Yeah, they had some like old like fossils or footprints or something like to the far right of it.
Yeah, so we went to that one and they had like little like river-ish like running through, so
like
the kids
maybe.
The stream, so the kids were kind of like digging up that. I mean, we spent so much time there. So we went there one day and it was beautiful. We went on around like looking for like sea glass. Kids found a lot of sea glass there, and then we did another one a little bit further out because we heard
down into a valley.
So we heard this one was like a must go to, so we went to that one. It was a little further up. We had to kind of drive like up basically like the hill
and then walk on down,
park, and then you had to walk all the way down. Just there was like cafes as you're like going down the stairs.
You're right.
You go down one stairs, there's a cafe, and then you go down another one, and then there's a cafe. But that one was really cool as well. We spent a lot of time. I would say it was chilly. I don't think everyone was in the water.
Oh, me and the kids all got in the water.
No, but in general, it was more chilly. So a lot of people were not in the water. They were playing in the sand. And then they had, people were kind of like in normal clothes, and they had like their chairs, they had card tables. There were so many people out there hanging out, but not even all of them were going in the water. It was just the vibe of it, the atmosphere. You heard music playing. It was awesome.
That one had that full river going into the stream. Our kids actually, I don't know, like me growing up in Hawaii, as Aubrey said, these were the first two beaches in a while. Not that I haven't been impressed by other beaches, but these two beaches, I was like, whoa. I was like, that was pretty good. I don't know if they're better than Hawaii beaches, but they were nice.
But I would say too, even though the streams, because the streams they were more like compact and they're shallow, they were warmer. So all the little kids were playing in the streams more so.
I think both. I think you're right. But they were. I think the reason they're playing the streams, even our kids were playing in it.
Fun.
Because I love that growing up, but like how you try to like block the water, so you find rocks and you try to like build a sand like barrier and try to make the river go through it and around it.
No, it was
our kids easily spent 2 hours, easy 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, building and in those streams. The awesome thing, obviously the water was a bit colder because it's the Atlantic compared to like the Mediterranean Sea. The thing I wanted to add was, I thought was really cool was there still was that massive shelf at both of these places that we went to where you could go out forever and it was still like waist high on me. So, like a meter, 3 feet type of deep. And so the kids could run out 25, 30 yards and you still knew they had another 50 yards beyond them.
But I still don't like that.
Yeah, we didn't love
I
them
get
getting so
anxiety
far.
about it, so I don't like them to go in the water.
Yeah. When we first got there, I actually just walked out as far as I could. I could have kept walking, and I actually just got tired of it. And I was like, all right, they're not going to go this far, just to see, like, you know, to be safe and everything with them. Beaches were really nice. I can see why everyone in the summer, from like the south to like Alicante, Valencia, anywhere really like south of Valencia, how they head up north. And it's really becoming like more of a like Spanish tourist destination up there.
It's so beautiful.
Beautiful. It's green. It's not as hot.
Yeah.
And the beaches are stunning. I mean, we haven't even like touched on Santander beaches or stuff like that. But besides that, I will get to my last point.
Yeah.
As for a little bit of a negative, I want to say, and I don't want to like, you know, make anyone from Gijon mad or anything, any natives here. I did not love Gijon's, like the city itself. I thought certain parts were nice.
Yeah.
And then I thought other parts were not so nice. And I think it was tough coming from Oviedo, where I thought Oviedo in general, besides like, you know, being like the cleanest city, whatever, and it wasn't even safety. Like, there's nothing about safety in Gijon. I didn't feel unsafe or anything like that. I want to be clear. Gijon seems so clean and, I don't know if cute's the right word, but it just seemed quaint, maybe. Yeah. Gijon had like a section, maybe new modern, and it looked really clean. Right next to a section, maybe a bit more rundown and not so clean. And then there's like a kind of a cute, quaint area. And then there's an area where, again, kind of run down, not so clean.
I think they're working on it.
Yeah.
For sure.
If they're revitalizing it, sure, maybe. I don't know enough about Gijon or Oviedo. I kind of heard Oviedo was like more the industrial town. And maybe Gijon kind of was part of it too. I'm not sure, right?
Almost felt like a rustic feel.
Yeah.
To the city, like hip, but like a hip rustic kind of vibe.
If you want to tell me like in 10 years, 20 years, it was more like a hipster town and turned into that.
Easily.
I could understand that. To me, just certain parts of the city coming from Oviedo and Valencia were like, I think like are pretty darn nice. It felt okay. That'd really be the only negative I have to say about it. The food, the beaches, the boardwalk, didn't really have any other complaints in the rest of that. So I think that's really all we have negative to say about it. But other than that, loved Gijon, loved Oviedo, loved Bilbao. We are actually going to get to go to San Sebastian to see a bunch of our friends in a couple of months. So we were to like kind of report on San Sebastian. I think it's the most expensive, like per square meter for housing.
Pretty sure.
In Spain, like it might be more expensive than Barcelona.
Michelin star, like it's,
Yeah,
like, it's
most
just a
Michelin
very
stars per
expensive area, but yeah.
So we're gonna take a look at it. But other than that, that kind of wraps up Gijon for us, and we'll see you in our next video.
Adios.
Adios.